1931, starring a young Barbara Stanwyck as a strong-willed nurse who foils a chauffeur's plot to murder 2 children in the hopes of landing an inheritance. Warner Brothers tackled the financial struggles of the Great Depression like no other studio, doubling down on stories that would entertain, engage, and even enrage audiences. The Warners took the lead in supporting World War II both on and off the screen. In the aftermath of the blacklist in 1947, the studio tried to placate the government by making anti-communist films. Brian Foy's B-movie I Was a Communist for the FBI, 1951, was largely inconsequential, although censor Joseph Breen wrote many letters to Jack Warner asking for deletions. The questionable use of racial slurs and details of a race riot stayed in the film, despite Breen's objections. Others, such as Storm Warning, 1951, starring Ronald Reagan, Ginger Rogers, and Doris Day, remain prescient tales of small communities battling racism. As cultural and political values changed, Warner Brothers continued to push controversial and socially liberal adult material such as A Streetcar Named Desire, 1951, and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, 1966, even after the brothers moved to the political right after the war. Warner Brothers was more than a film studio because its productions reflected the Warner Brothers brand of cultural insight and resilience, which had been cultivated over years of trials and failures. This project began years ago as an idea to write a biography of Harry Warner, who's largely underappreciated in film history, at least compared with his younger brother Jack. Harry stands out not because of his determination and ability to weather adversity, which were necessary qualities among all early Hollywood moguls, but because of his faithfulness to his family, industry, and country. Unlike many other studio heads, Harry was not a philanderer. He was the staunchest defender of his industry on national platforms throughout his career and had a way of promoting non-ideological patriotism that can teach a great deal to listeners in the 21st century. The man was a towering presence, known for his tolerant friendliness, for being charitable to a fault, and for his imperturbable calm. Harry died before the nostalgia for Golden Age Hollywood peaked, when Kevin Brownlow and Peter Bogdanovich were interviewing industry legends in the 1960s. Jack, being one of the last living moguls of his era, enjoyed that glory. Harry deserves his rightful place in film history, but his story is complete without Sam, Jack, Albert, and scores of others who helped the Warners along the way. Neil Gabler, author of An Empire of Their Own, How the Jews Invented Hollywood, describes Hollywood's founders as men who regarded themselves as marginal men trying to punch into the American mainstream, who embarked on an assimilation so ruthless and complete that they cut their lives to the pattern of American respectability as they interpreted it. This was certainly true of many Hollywood moguls. The Warner Brothers were unique in that they did not shy away from their Jewish background. Jack was the least religious, but he never hid his Jewish roots. Harry, Albert, and Sam remained devout Jews throughout their lives. Harry spoke regularly and proudly about his faith, as well as calling for the acceptance of all faiths. Of course, as a sign of the times, their Jewish identities took a back seat in the early 20th century in order to get business loans and mortgages. Sam would find that getting a home loan was easier when the real estate agent or banker saw his Catholic wife's crucifix. Max Burkut, a public relations man who worked at Warner Brothers from 1948 to 1968, referred to Jack as the last of the great showmen. According to Burkut, Jack would scream and holler and make your life miserable, but he won't kill you if he knows you're doing a job for Warner Brothers. He labeled Jack debonair and described the studio as the product of good housekeeping, meticulously maintained, painted, paved, the lawns and shrubbery manicured. Warner did not even allow movies.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.